41 left in their power play.
Tavares serves the penalty for the Leafs. Hamilton. Jack with a shot. Gloves, rebound. He sure doesn't go. He loses his stick. Stolar's able to grab the loose puck.
Tanev go down in a heap.
There's no arm up for a penalty, so I'm not sure what caused Tanev to go down.
We're buzzing around the net and almost got to that rebound. Mercer did. Try and take the lead.
The Toronto Maple Leafs just received more terrible news, and it's not only about losing another game. A key injury, rising locker room tension, and angry fans are making things worse. The team's latest updates paint a difficult picture. One filled with frustration.
Are you watching this? What a brilliant
ball. What's happening inside the Leafs right now is far from good news.
For the Devils' sake, that's good news because no penalty on the play. He just went in awkwardly into Dawson Mercer, and shaken up is the longtime veteran defenseman.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are facing another hard stretch early in the season. Their latest 5-2 loss to the New Jersey Devils added to the team's struggles and brought a new injury to an already thin defensive lineup. Veteran defenseman Chris Tanev left the game with an upper body injury and did not return. He had been one of the team's most dependable players since joining Toronto, often used in tough minutes and penalty-killing situations.
How's Tanev doing?
Yeah, right now, I mean, he's doing better today, but he's questionable right now. Yeah, it's a hole. You know, obviously we all know what he does for the team and what he brings, but you know, that's part of the game. You deal with it, and everybody has to step up.
After the game, head coach Craig Berube confirmed that Tanev's injury would keep him out of the lineup for several games. The coach said the team had put ourselves in a hole during the Devils game and admitted that the defense wasn't good enough. Losing Tanev only adds to that concern. His absence leaves a major gap on the right side where Toronto already lacked depth. The Leafs' defensive problems have been visible in recent weeks. During the loss to the Devils, Toronto allowed 3 goals in the first period. New Jersey forward Jack Hughes scored a hat trick, controlling the game from start to finish. The Leafs gave up 34 shots on goal and struggled to clear their zone. The team now ranks near the bottom of the league in goals allowed over the last 5 games. Goaltender Anthony Stolarz expressed frustration after the team's overtime loss to Seattle.
watching this?
He said that the team needs to play with more structure in front of the net and added that defensive lapses were costing them points. His comments came as the Leafs continued to give up high-quality scoring chances each night. This string of losses has exposed problems deeper than injury. Reports indicate that there is tension inside the locker room. Some players have quietly expressed concern over the team's system and the coaching staff's decision. Changes in defensive pairings and inconsistent forward lines have created uncertainty. When asked about the group's mood, Berube said, "We're not where we need to be." Everyone knows that. The Maple Leafs' current record reflects those problems. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games and continue to struggle defensively. Despite strong
Greg, what can
efforts
your team take away from the effort tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good solid
the
60
team has been
minutes, in my
unable to
opinion.
find balance. Matthews has scored in back-to-back games, but those goals have not been enough to offset the team's defensive breakdown. The bad news doesn't end with injuries and losses. Fan frustration is growing rapidly. Social media platforms were filled with negative reactions following the Devils game. Many fans called the performance unacceptable and demanded accountability from management. Comments directed at general manager Brad Treliving pointed to off-season signings that have not worked out as planned. Several analysts have listed the Maple Leafs among the NHL teams already regretting their summer roster move. The team's salary cap situation also limits options for immediate improvement. The Maple Leafs power play, once a strength, has cooled off in recent games. In the last 5 outings, Toronto has gone just 1 for 15 with the man advantage. At even strength, they have been outscored 18-9 in that span. These numbers reflect the larger issue: defensive mistakes, lack of puck control, and costly penalties. Craig Berube has faced increasing pressure in recent media sessions. When asked about the team's current slide, he said, "We need to be better, plain and simple." He emphasized that structure and discipline must improve immediately. However, the team's effort on the ice has not shown much change. Behind the scenes, questions are being asked about player leadership. Some insiders suggest that communication between veterans and younger players has not been smooth. The team is trying to find consistency under a new coaching system, but results have been slow to appear. For the fans, patience is wearing thin. Season ticket holders have voiced disappointment after a summer of high expectation. The Leafs were predicted to be a strong contender, yet early performances have not met that standard. Each loss increases pressure on both players and management. The Maple Leafs' schedule does not get easier. Their next few games include matchups against top teams in the Eastern Conference. If Tanev remains sidelined, the defensive pairings will likely rely on depth players from the Marlies. Toronto's top forwards continue to produce points, but the imbalance between offense and defense remains a major problem. The Leafs have scored 24 goals in their last 7 games, but have allowed 30 in the same span. Their penalty kill ranks in the bottom half of the league. With the regular season still young, there is time to recover, but the situation is tense. Toronto's recent stretch shows how quickly challenges can build. For now, the facts are clear. Another injury, a losing streak, growing fan anger, and questions inside the dressing room. Each update adds to a difficult start that has become more than a slow beginning. For the Maple Leafs, the news keeps coming, and right now, almost all of it is bad.
I thought, like I said, Willie drove the line, like with Johnny and Michelli, like all three of them, but Willie did what he does. He had the puck, he was doing things, he's making good decisions, driving it deep and doing what he does in the offensive zone, but I thought they were responsible defensively. I was happy with the line. I thought they were very impactful tonight.
Something big happened in Toronto. The Maple Leafs' new coach, Craig Berube, called out one of his star players right in front of the media. His words hit like a thunderclap. The message was clear, the tone was sharp, and it left fans stunned. This moment changed everything inside the Leafs' locker room.
It's seen now by Matthews. 2 seconds left out in front. Fanned on by Tavares. That's all. And Detroit in front of Cam Talbot. They get it done.
The Toronto Maple Leafs had just finished their game against the Detroit Red Wings. The final score was 3-2, and the Leafs lost. It was their second loss in the first 3 games of the season. After the game, head coach Craig Berube stood before reporters and spoke about forward William Nylander. His comments came straight and strong. Berube said
really
that
needs
Nylander...
more shots. He doesn't have enough shots. I think in Detroit didn't have any, had 1 or 2 tonight. We need to get him more. He needs to attack more, needs to shoot more. He's got to get on the inside more, like things like that. So, yes, we do need more out of him.
Berube said that Nylander was not shooting enough. He said Nylander needed to attack more and play harder near the net. These were not quiet comments. They were broadcast across hockey media within minutes. According to Sportsnet, Berube said, "Willie needs more shots. He needs to attack more, needs to shoot more. He's got to get on the inside more." He went on to say, "There's shifts and times where he is skating, but I just feel like it's not enough. We need more out of him." These words made it clear that the coach was not happy with Nylander's early performance this season. Berube also admitted that he was unsure what was causing the issue. He said, "I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest with you, but I'll have a conversation with him and see where he's at and what's going on." The tone was firm, not angry, but serious. In the first 3 games of the new season, Nylander had only 3 shots on goal. That number stood out when compared to his last season's total of 253 shots. The difference was massive, and Berube noticed. The loss against Detroit was also part of a bigger problem. Toronto's power play has not scored yet this season. The team's top scorers have not been able to finish plays as expected. The early slump is adding pressure to both players and coaches. Berube pointed out that Nylander is working with new line mates this year. That change could be affecting how often he has the puck. Berube said, "We need him to score goals, right? That is what he does, but there is more to his game than that. Sometimes they're not getting it enough. so they're not feeling like they're into the game. This comment showed that Berube sees Nylander's issue as both mental and tactical. Soon after Berube's press talk, the story spread quickly. Headlines across Toronto and the NHL world focused on his criticism. Fans began to wonder if this was a message only for Nylander or for the whole team. Team captain John Tavares stepped up to defend his teammate. He said Nylander is a key part of the Maple Leafs and that everyone in the locker room supports him. Tavares said that as captain, he trusts Nylander's effort and knows he will respond. His words helped calm the noise but did not erase Berube's message. The public call-out happened less than a year after Nylander signed a major contract. His new deal was for 8 years and carries a salary cap hit of $11.5 million. It was one of the richest deals in team history. That kind of contract brings expectations, and Berube made it clear that those expectations are not being met yet. The Leafs front office is also watching closely. General manager Brad Treliving has built this roster around stars like Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander. The team's goal is to push deeper into the playoffs. A slow start under a new coach raises questions early in the season. Berube's style has always been direct. He is known for speaking plainly and demanding physical play. His coaching history in St. Louis included a Stanley Cup win in 2019, and he built that success on effort and structure. His first few games in Toronto show that he is applying that same standard here. Nylander's reaction to the comments has not been made public. According to reports, Berube planned to meet with him privately to discuss how to get his game back on track. No argument or dispute has been reported between the two. Analysts say this kind of coaching message is not unusual, but it is rare for it to be said so openly this early in a season. Some insiders believe Berube wanted to send a signal not only to Nylander, but to the entire locker room that effort levels must rise. The Maple Leafs will face the Nashville Predators next. That game will give Nylander a chance to respond on the ice. Fans and media will be watching closely to see if he increases his shot count and plays more aggressively. If Nylander regains his scoring touch, this story may fade into a small early season spark. If his numbers stay low, pressure could grow again, not only on him, but on the whole Leafs lineup. Berube's comments were short, specific, and powerful. They showed that no player, no matter how skilled or well-paid, is above being held accountable. For now, one thing is clear. The head coach has set his standard, and the Leafs star must answer it on the ice.
Marty, you have an experience of people doubting you, and I think when Marc-Andre just mentioned that you coached at a junior level, you corrected him and said, Pee-wee, there's a lot of people out there that are doubting you right now. What do you have to say to those people?
They were written off, but now they're coming for everything. Under Martin St. Louis, the Canadiens have turned from a rebuilding roster into a relentless, hungry force that refuses to quit. From grueling practices to last-second goals, this team isn't just playing hockey anymore. They're proving that Montreal matters again.
All that stuff, you know, as an athlete, as a human, all that stuff that people want to doubt or talk and say and comment, to me, it's all noise. It's always been noise. And I've always been a guy that blocked the noise and gets after it. And that's what I intend to do.
Since Martin St. Louis became head coach, the Canadiens have changed. He took charge in June 2022 after a long playing career. He was the 32nd coach in team history. In his first full year, Montreal finished near the bottom. But under his plan, that changed quickly. By the 2024-25 season, the Canadiens jumped to a record of 40 wins, 31 losses, and 11 overtime losses. That gave them 91 points, 15 more than the year before, and their first playoff trip in 4 seasons. These are not small steps. They are proof of change. In May 2025, the National Hockey League named Martin St. Louis one of 3 finalists for the Jack Adams Award. That award goes to the best coach in the league. He was honored for helping Montreal move from a rebuild into real competition again. His work caught the eye of analysts, players, and other teams. Now, at the start of the 2025-26 season, the Canadiens are working harder than ever. Training camp opened with a clear message. St. Louis told his players that every day mattered. Every shift had to mean something. Team captain Nick Suzuki backed that up. He said the group had to come hungry every day. That message stuck. In their recent games, Montreal's new style is showing. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks with a goal in the last seconds, 15.7 seconds before the horn, to be exact. Defenseman Caden Gooley scored that winning goal. It showed that the team doesn't stop pushing even when the clock is almost gone. That type of finish is what St. Louis has been asking for. In that same game, Montreal had 10 power plays. Chicago collected 39 penalty minutes. The Canadiens fired 12 shots on those chances. Those numbers are a sign of control, and also a sign that their special teams still have room to improve. St. Louis said that execution under pressure is part of what separates good teams from great ones. He is also testing new lineups. Reports from Sportsnet say St. Louis may move rookie Ivan Demidov into the top power play unit. Demidov, who joined Montreal from Russia, is already drawing notice. In one game, he stopped a breakaway chance by skating hard back on defense, something St. Louis wants from all his players. Global News reported that this kind of two-way effort is exactly what the coach expects from young talent. It's not just about scoring, it's about playing the whole game. Another player showing progress is Zach Bolduc. Montreal traded for him this fall. In his first 3 games, Bolduc scored in every match. His ice time jumped from just over 13 minutes to almost 17. He earned that through hard play. He also changed the way players train. In recent interviews, he said he wanted practice to feel like real game. He didn't want slow warm-ups or lazy drills. He told players that every shift in practice should mirror how they play when the puck drops for real. He said, "Do what the game demands." That line has become something of a motto inside the locker room. The Canadiens' improvement isn't only on paper. The team looks more organized, more confident. They still make mistakes. Every young team does. But now those mistakes come from trying, not from hesitating. St. Louis said that once players learn his system, he can demand more from them. That's what's happening this season. The change also shows in leadership. Nick Suzuki continues to grow as captain. The coach has made clear that every player must understand his role. In Montreal's system, the defensemen are expected to help the attack. The forwards must backcheck and protect the zone. Everyone moves together. Sportsnet noted that this approach has made the Canadiens harder to play against. Even league insiders have noticed. In a Reuters report from May 2025, St. Louis was called one of the best new coaches in the NHL. His name appeared next to veteran bench bosses like Scott Arniel of the Jets. For Montreal fans, that recognition mattered. It means the work is paying off. His players respect him because he's done it himself. St. Louis played more than 1,100 NHL games and won a Stanley Cup in 2004. He knows how to lead because he's been in their skates. When he speaks, the locker room listens. Montreal's hunger is now a defining trait. In interviews, players often repeat that word, hungry. It means they want to win, but also that they're never satisfied. The team's climb from last place to playoff status in 2 years shows that attitude. In a recent report from the Hockey News, St. Louis said this phase of the rebuild is about consistency. It's not enough to compete once in a while. The Canadiens must bring the same level every night. That's how real contenders are made. As the season continues, Martin St. Louis's impact can be measured not just in wins, but in how his team responds to pressure. The Canadiens aren't coasting through games anymore. They chase pucks, finish checks, and skate hard in every zone. Every sign points to a team that has rediscovered its edge. From the front office to the fourth line, Montreal is buying into what St. Louis started. The results are showing on the scoreboard, and across the league, people are starting to notice. The Canadiens have become what their coach demanded, hungry again.
Demidov avoided the check. Demidov. Look out, gave it away right on the tape of Pinto. And I think a cross-checking call behind the play.
I think it's going to be a slash.
A slash, sorry. It's going against Ottawa, and Nick Cousins can't believe it. And he'll go for 2 or less.
This has been a parade to the box for Nick Cousins, unfortunately. He's going to take a little slash of Demidov into the hand here. So here's the turnover right here, the middle of the ice. And then there's a chop right on the wrist of Demidov.
A rookie star's night ended in pain. Ivan Demidov, slashed down by Nick Cousins, left the ice holding his wrist. The hit didn't just stop the play, it started something bigger. Nick Cousins delivered a two-handed slash right across Demidov's wrist. The Canadiens rookie tried to skate off, but the pain forced him out. He was removed from the game. Before the hit, Demidov was having a strong night. He had already collected 2 assists in the game. He pushed the play against Ottawa's was defense and kept creating scoring chances. His skating and passing showed why fans are so excited about him. But after the slash, his night ended early. Head coach Martin St. Louis was asked for an update right after the game. He said, "Not right now. He's still being evaluated, so not right now." That was the official word from the Canadiens bench. The team called the move by Cousins unnecessary. St. Louis added, "There's no need for that. It's an exhibition game. I don't think there's any need for that in the game." Nick Cousins delivered the chop late in the game. This was after a string of rough moments between the two teams. Reports suggest Cousins may have been retaliating after Arbor Shekaj of Montreal had been ejected earlier. Fans were quick to react. Online, they described the slash as cowardly. Analysts said the Department of Player Safety is likely to review the play. That means Cousins could face discipline before the regular season begins.